me, Johan, Kim and Niklas, was sitting outside and enjoying the first ray of the spring sun. Johan told us that he had a relative that owned a floating sauna here in the Lake Mälaren, and how nice it would be for us to go there, have a few beers and do some skinny dipping. The problem was that nobody wanted to be sober enough to drive back and forth. So Johan said, we should get a boat. Everyone thought that sounded like a great idea. So we started to look on the internet, and in that picture you actually see us looking at boats. We found a few that looked cool and was within our price range. Niklas and Kim was a little hesitant and backed out, so me and Johan decided just the two of us should buy it and keep it a secret, that the plan was to surprise Kim and Niklas.
Hi! Me and Johan just bought a boat! Chip ahoy!
Ahoy! Welcome aboard! Rip ahoy!
The boat model that me and Johan bought is called a Snipa. Her name is Pita, and she is 27 foot long and 9 foot wide. She weighs about 3.7 tons. Her hull is made of mahogany, and she has 4 beds, 2 in the bow cabin and 2 in the aft cabin. In the center of the boat she has a wide sitwell with a table in the middle, and a small gasoline kitchen. Pita is a beauty, and we are both very happy with our purchase. A wood boat demands more work than a plastic boat. She needs to be coated with a new layer of varnish every year before she's put into the sea. The reason why is that the sun and the sea is tearing on the protected coated layer. And to keep a wood boat in a happy and beautiful shape, she needs a makeover every year. Before coating, we need to scratch the existing surface with a sandpaper so the new varnish can attach itself on top of the old one. The only thing is that Neither me or Johan has never owned a boat before, nevertheless prepared one for the summer. Which is obvious when you look at the first footage. Oh, it's painful, but I can see myself grinding it sometimes in circles, which is wrong. We are supposed to grain it with the wood fibers. Otherwise, if you're unlucky, the scratched circles can be seen under the new coated layer. But we figured that one out fast. Looking good, guys. After we completed graining the hull, we took a licorice pipe to celebrate a job well done, as the captains we are. To get rid of the sandpaper dust, we moistened a rag with wood oil and wiped the hull clean. After, we coated the hull with 2 layers of new varnish. And the result is freaking amazing. I can almost see my reflection. When we were going to clean and waterproof the boat cover, we told Niklas and Kim that it belonged to Johan's uncle. And if we helped Johan clean his uncle's boat cover, we could use his boat this summer as thanks. Niklas and Kim gladly and cluelessly helped us. The lower end of the hull, below the waterline, is painted with a special thick paint called bottom paint. When the boat is laying in the sea creatures like mollusks and different kinds of seaweed want to attach itself to the bottom of the boat. So the bottom paint peels itself during the summer season. So that makes it harder for sea creatures to attach themselves. We used wire brushes to scrape the bottom clean, to make sure no loose paint or any mollusks still was attached under the boat before we started to paint. Some of the paint was all gone and the wood was visible, maybe because the boat had been scraped against rocks when boarding an island. But before we coated with bottom paint, we put a layer of primer on the exposed wood, so the bottom paint can attach proper to the hull. We put a protective tape on the white line before we started to paint. And lastly, the bottom paint itself. You can really see a big difference directly. Note to myself for next year, use gloves before painting. My hands were blue for a whole week. That spring was the coldest in many years. Some days below 0 degrees. There was a small cafe not far from the docks. When our limbs got really cold, we took a break and went there, had some coffee, sat in front of the fireplace, and warmed our frozen bodies up. And that was truly a blessing. The boat had a 28 horsepower Volvo Penta engine. The batteries just needed to be charged before the motors jumped into action. There was only one more thing to do, watering down the boat. When a wood boat is on land, the wood dries out and shrinks a little. So in between the timber, small gaps are visible. And she will take in water if put into the sea directly after winter storage. Therefore, wood boats needs to be pre-soaked in water a couple of weeks before she goes into the sea, making the wood swell and close the gaps. One beautiful spring day in May, we made some arrangement with the dock captain Leif to help us to put Pita into the sea. The scariest part was to watch Pita high up in the air as the massive lifting crane transported her to the sea. We were the last boat to be put to sea that weekend. So Peter would lie in the straps into the water until next weekend, so the wood board could soak in more water and swell even more. When we finally left the harbor, the weekend after that, the sun was smiling upon us, and I had this intense feeling of happiness. We were exalted, and a sense of freedom washed over us as we steered the boat to open waters. We didn't even worry about that the boat still took in small amounts of water, but relied completely on the bilge pumps to flush it out. When we reached the Lake Mälaren, Johan had prepared a lunch with his girlfriend Petra the night before. We toasted in champagne and celebrated our good fortune. It was overall a beautiful, memorable day that would mark the beginning of an adventurous summer. During the winter, we four have been playing a role-play game called Symbarium. I was the game leader, and my job is to narrate a story that the others will play their character after. That cold winter evening, when this picture was taken, they were gonna enter the deep dark forest of Davokar for the first time, and look at their serious gaze. When me and Johan was gonna tell Niklas and Kim about the boat, I said that we're gonna play Symbarium. I had specially written an adventure just for them. Me and Johan lied and said that we're gonna play it in an apartment overlooking the lake, but instead we took them to the boat.
Ja, men vad tycker ni? Här ska vi vara. Det är jag och Johans båt.
The pirate boat!
Ja, med tjacken.
Vi köpte en båt. Vi tänkte det är överraskning till er.
Tror du först om att ni kände någon att de balkong här då?
Det är din, vad heter det, som vi fixade?
Ja, morbror Nisses kapell.
Ja, det är hans båt.
Ja. Det är våran båt.
Fast ni köpte den av honom eller vad?
Nej, det var bara en vad säger man? Förklädd för att inte berätta att vi har köpt båt.